Thank you, Chairwoman. Thank you to the witnesses for being here. Mr. Secretary, I just got word that Senator Padilla from my great state of California was physically assaulted and arrested for attending Secretary Noem's press event. The mere fact that he showed up, he was forcibly removed. Is this how you would treat a member of Congress who attends your press event, whether invited or not?
Well, I've been here for 5 hours, sir. I don't know about that.
I'm just asking, would you have me forcibly removed from your press event?
I'm not going to speculate on a hypothetical. I'm sure there's more context.
I'll take that as a yes. Mr. Secretary, does the DOD have any plans to allow the military to follow the orders of President Trump when his order violates the Constitution? Yes or no?
I reject the premise of that question, which is that President Trump is ordering unconstitutional orders.
I'll take that as a yes as well. Mr. Secretary, the deployment of active duty Marines to California is incredibly disruptive to the lives of service members who are being drawn into the President's publicity stunt. And I want to know how you're planning to take care of these troops. So will you commit to sending my office and this committee a detailed plan on how you plan to house and feed the 700 Marines and potentially thousands of Marines?
What's disruptive is when concrete blocks are thrown at the heads of ICE officers. And so we're proud that National Guardsmen and Marines have responded in real time to help defend those federal law enforcement officers.
So do you have a plan? Do you have a plan to house
Not only do we have a plan, but it's been a focus of mine. I've held a riot shield before in a riot. I recognize what it means to respond in real time without enough time.
Mr. Secretary, will you get me that plan,
everything they can
please?
as fast as they can, and we have a plan for that.
Mr. Secretary, I reclaim my plan. Chairwoman?
If you think what you've heard so far is shocking, wait until you see how Hegseth dodges every question about coordination, cost, and constitutional authority, and how Derek Tran dismantles the entire operation with nothing but facts.
LA Mayor Bass stated that the area placed under the recent curfew is around 1 square mile. Is that the same area where service members will be deployed?
Service members are in Los Angeles to defend law enforcement, ICE agents, and facilities.
So essentially you're telling me that American people that a 1 square mile block of LA, and for the record, LA County is over 4,700 square miles, warrants the deployment of 700 Marines and the federalization of 4,000 California National Guardsmen. You testified earlier that you will send in the military to protect local law enforcement. Did LAPD Police Chief McDonnell ask you for your help?
I read reports on a regular basis.
Did he ask for your help?
From ICE agents
I'll take that as a no.
More grateful.
Did LA Sheriff Luna ask for you to send in the military, Mr. Secretary? Did LA Sheriff Luna ask you to send in the military? Yes or no?
I don't work for the LA Sheriff, sir.
Well, you said you sent them in to support the military, but they didn't even ask for your, to support law enforcement, but they didn't even ask for your help. Have you been to Los Angeles in the last 7 days?
My team is from the top down focused on making sure Los Angeles
I'll also take that as a no. How did you arrive at the decision not to coordinate with local law enforcement and the governor's office on the initial deployment?
It would be great if the governor attempted to actually coordinate instead of grandstand.
All right, so I believe you're secretly deploying troops to an area without coordinating with local officials is somehow not disruptive and to the logistical and operational conditions on the ground. You agree with that?
I would need you to repeat the question, sir.
Does the department plan on coordinating with Governor Newsom's office on local law enforcement going forward, Mr. Secretary?
We've coordinated with local law enforcement quite well, but the governor's been an obstruction to that, of course.
All right, Secretary Hegseth, this political stunt, and by your own admission, is expected to cost the American taxpayer at least $134 million and will disrupt the lives of hundreds and potentially thousands of active duty Marines and 4,000 National Guardsmen. That's $134 million and thousands of personnel diverted away from critical missions in the Indo-Pacific, where China is rapidly expanding from Europe, where NATO needs US support amid growing Russian aggression, and from CENTCOM, where tensions are escalating so critically that your own General Kurilla had to cancel all his testimony in Congress today. Your redirection of combat-ready troops from real-world national security threats to manage a domestic protest is gross mismanagement and a slap in the face of service members whose lives are disrupted throughout this event. As a veteran myself, it's a disgrace, and you should be ashamed. I yield back.
What we just witnessed from Congressman Derek Tran is a moment that cuts right to the heart of democratic norms and constitutional accountability. The first question he asks shouldn't even need to be asked in a functioning democracy. Would you treat an elected member of Congress the same way California Senator Padilla was treated, physically assaulted and removed, simply for attending a press event? The fact that Hegseth refuses to answer, dodging with hypothetical deflections, is telling, because an administration that's confident in its legality doesn't fear transparency, it doesn't fear oversight, and it doesn't fear elected representatives showing up to witness what the federal government is doing in their own state. Derek Tran's line of questioning exposes something much bigger than one event. It shows a pattern of executive overreach wrapped in the language of law and order, but practiced in a way that undermines constitutional principles. When powerful federal agencies act unilaterally, without coordination with local authorities, and without accountability, it erodes trust and shifts us towards something dangerously close to unchecked federal force. That's why Tran's persistence matters. He keeps coming back to the basics. Did local officials ask for the military? Did LAPD ask? Did the sheriff ask? Did the governor even know? And every single time, Hegseth either dodges, blames someone else, or claims coordination happened while providing zero proof. That contradiction alone tells the story. And then there's the human cost, the thousands of Marines and National Guardsmen yanked from real missions around the world. Tran forces the issue. These troops aren't props, and they're not political instruments. They have families, obligations, deployments, and national security responsibilities in regions where threats are actually rising. Pulling them from Indo-Pacific operations, NATO support, and the Middle East to respond to a 1 square mile protest zone is not strategic defense. It's political theater. And Tran calls it exactly what it is, a stunt, an expensive one at that, costing taxpayers over $134 million, disrupting lives and weakening our standing abroad. What stands out most is Tran's refusal to let the conversation drift into talking points. He keeps it grounded in constitutional responsibility, public safety, and basic respect for governance. He asserts what every Democrat, and frankly every American, should expect: transparent coordination, lawful deployment, and accountability for decisions that impact both communities and service members. And when Hegseth tries to spin concerns about cost and disruption into accusations of insufficient gratitude, Tran doesn't budge. Because defending democratic rights isn't ingratitude, it's oversight, it's the job. This moment is a reminder that democracy works only when elected officials are allowed to show up, ask hard questions, and challenge the misuse of power. And Derek Tran just showed exactly what that looks like. If you care about constitutional order, about respecting military personnel, and about keeping political stunts out of national security, this is the kind of oversight we need more of. And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share, because more people need to see exactly what's happening behind the scenes of these so-called security decisions.